And welcome back into another edition of UMass Sports Insider. My name is Jay Burnham, and we've got an action-packed show for you. We're going to dive deep into the winter sports. So we're going to start, how about we start at the top with Athletic Director Ryan Bamford. And Ryan, thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Jay.
We've got basketball, hockey in full swing, but I want to start with football. It's been just about 6 weeks since you made the announcement along with the institution that Walt Bell is the new head coach of this football program. Could you give us an update as to kind of what he's been up to? I know he's been a busy man.
Yeah, Walt's been busy. The month of December, he assembled half of his staff, signed 8 new recruits in the class for 2019 in the December period. And of course, we have February signing day coming up. I think you'll see here in the next week or two some announcements on the rest of his staff being built. We've got some really talented coaches coming into Amherst to help us build this football program up. And Walt's been busy. He's been on the road. He's obviously done a lot in recruiting, done a lot in staff building, and really making sure, taking time to get the right 10 assistant coaches. We've worked hard on that. Also rebuilding our strength staff as well. So a lot of really positive things as we get into January and try to close out the next 5 weeks and sign the second half of this 19 recruiting class.
Well, what can you tell us about some of those staff members?
Yeah, so we've got, we started out with the offensive side of the football predominantly in December, and now we filled out most of our defensive staff. And we've got a defensive coordinator in Azar Abdul-Rahim who comes to us from Maryland. Really, he's got experience working for Nick Saban at Alabama. Highly seasoned, was a really successful high school football coach in the D.C. area. Recruits D.C., Maryland, Virginia really well, the DMV, and I think will allow us to really take the next step from a recruiting standpoint, and I think our kids are going to love him. They're going to want to play hard for him. There's a number of other position coaches that we'll announce here shortly, but I'm excited about what Walt's done with the staff. They're a good group, a hungry group, and a group that wants to represent the University of Massachusetts in our football program.
Well, I thought this was neat. You mentioned Coach Abdul-Rahim coming from Maryland. He's got a ton of experience working with cornerbacks, defensive backs, and he generated a little bit of buzz when that announcement came out. In fact, I got a quote from the @not the fake SVP. That's Scott Van Pelt from
Scott,
ESPN, and he said, @Azar23, go do it big with @Coach Walt Bell. We'll be rooting for you from both close and afar. So clearly that hire made an impact not only here but throughout the collegiate football world.
Yeah, I think, anytime you get a chance to bring somebody who Azar is very similar to Walt, very authentic, has great relationships that are going to really, I think, yield some great dividends for the Minutemen and our program in the future.
So that's the on-the-field stuff and what Coach Walt Bell's been up to. There's been a lot of off-the-field announcements going back to June with a big announcement from Marty Jacobson giving over $5.5 million to the program. And then another big announcement came out with a donation towards the video board. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Paul and Dave Manganaro. Dave and Paul have been really generous to us. Paul played for us in the 80s, is the president of our Gridiron Club, and they've just been so generous. They made a $500,000 gift for us to put towards a brand new $2 million scoreboard. You're going to see a lot of program enhancements at McGurk Alumni Stadium in time for the 2019 season, as well as the indoor facility, which will be up if everything goes well. I don't have any wood to knock on here, but goes well, and it'll be up in November of 2019. And you'll see, our fans will see some of the plans come out for those in the month of January as we get the news out there in time for signing period. But we're excited. We're excited about moving this ball forward, about getting some investments. People believe in this football program, and I think that shows not only with Marty, Paul, and Dave's gifts, but with others that have stepped up to the plate and helped us.
What does a $2 million video board look like? I mean, how enhancing is that? What kind of, fan enhancement does that provide?
Yeah, it's a great HD quality, a lot like you see here in the Mullins Center, what we've been able to do with those upgrades. It's going to be a big board sitting in the middle of the end zone, in that south end zone, and we're going to take down that end zone wall and create a little bit of a club there along with that new end zone board. And we've rented a board for the last 3 or 4 years at McGurk, and now you're going to have something that's fixed, and that's going to be, I think, a really from an aesthetic standpoint as well as from a fan enhancement and enrichment standpoint, it's going to be worlds above where we've been.
We've talked a lot about Andy Isabella over the past year, what he did for this football program, not only last year but throughout his career. He's going to the NFL Combine. He's taking home another award. He's on another award watch list. If he gets to the NFL, what does that mean for this program?
Well, I think it's just another in a long line of guys who have gone to the NFL and not only just made it, but have been successful there. And Andy, I'll be honest with you, I don't know that there's anybody that works harder than Andy Isabella does. And he's still here training. We actually have hired him just as somebody to help us in the transition with Coach Bell, just as a part-time person to not only help us, he's done with school, he's graduated in December, but to help him with his training too as he gets ready for the Combine, gets ready for Pro Day. We're extremely proud of the things that he did in the classroom, in the community, and obviously on the gridiron. And I think he's got a chance to be special at the next level.
Last one for you on football. I know this predated you, but Neil Brown, it was announced he's now the head football coach at West Virginia. Obviously a Power 5 conference, a big-time job. I guess, does that assist Walt Bell and what he's doing, getting the name of UMass out there?
Oh, I think it does. And Neil has tremendous pride in this program, and Neil and I have connected on a number of fronts. And, reading that $19 million contract he just signed.
It's a pretty good one, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're going to hope he gives back. He's been very generous. And his time at Troy, obviously, we played them. So a little funny there, but I think it's an opportunity for us to continue to grow what UMass football is, not just the players that come out of this program and do things at the next level, but also the coaches and the people that are successful when they come through the program.